In 2002, the Street and Area Lighting Committee established a Lifetime Service Award. This award is given to recognize individuals who contributed their time, effort, talent, and support over a continuous period of years to the committee. Could the past recipients please stand as I read your name? Edward Smalley, Dennis Coker, John Bono, Zach Gibler, Dawn Bitbo, Chris Balliott, which I think Chris is the first one that's actually here, Gary Bradford, Rich Mansour, David Baum, William Daber, James Havard, Donald Okan, Michael Canavan, and Carrie Spire. Please thank these individuals. This year, I am thrilled to have the honor of presenting this award. This year's award goes to none other than Matt Hartley.
This is a moment for me. I've been worrying about this for the last few days, and it's finally here, so let's see how we get through it. I'm both honored and humbled to receive this award today. In college, I was known as a storyteller, so please bear with me when I go through this. It was almost 20 years ago when I was asked by Cheryl English if I would teach at this new conference called the IES Street and Area Lighting Conference. Having a passion for teaching and talent for outdoor lighting, I accepted this offer with my colleague Jim Eads. The first IES SALC was held in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2000. But little did I know that the conference was actually 19 years in service. It was the 19th annual. Just that it had been taken over by the IES that year. My experience with the conference, that it was well run, people were nice, and the students were really willing to learn. So I must have done a good job because I was invited back. A couple of years later, Zach Gibler suggested I join the SALC full committee, and I joined the committee as well as the education committee. A year later, Chris Balliott approached me and asked if I was willing to serve as SALC education committee chair. Being an educator, I jumped at the chance. A few years passed, and I was asked by John Bono if I'd be willing to participate on the planning committee. This time I was outside of my teaching comfort zone, and I had come to know some of the people on the planning committee, and they assured me that I'd be okay, and that they would be there to help me if I had any questions. I was proud to serve on the planning committee as I still am today. I enjoyed my time on the planning committee and really learned how the conference worked and how much went into each one. A few more years passed, and Gary Bradford asked if I'd be willing to become vice chair and eventually chair of the planning committee. Again, I was outside my comfort zone, and I had concerns. It was a lot of responsibility, and I had just gone over, not to the dark side, but the inside, as my career had taken me into interior lighting. Although I still had relationships in outdoor lighting, I was worried since I had not connected with outdoor lighting folks on a daily basis. But again, I had support from the full planning committee and the full committee, so I accepted. Because everybody on planning is dedicated and helpful to each other, that was the reason. I became the vice chair and eventually chair of the New Orleans conference that was held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, due to Hurricane Katrina. The conference was great, and I learned the new meaning of herding cats, as any past chair would agree with. Just to let you know that I did make my way back and have made a balance in the force of indoor and outdoor lighting. After being planning chair, I continued my roles as planning committee member, educational coordinator, and I progressed through interim secretary, vice chair, and eventually chair of the full committee. I had grown and learned and had the support that I needed at each step, and that I knew that I can rely on members, and more importantly, they could rely on me, and more importantly, I could rely on them. Throughout my time at SALC, I've grown, both personally and professionally. I've seen the conference grow from 225 people attending in 2000 to over 1,200 attendees. We went from 2 classes to 3 standing classes, and then up to a total of 5 high-quality classes put on each year. It went from 20 people on the full committee to over 100 at one point. And my beloved education committee, when I started in 2003, had just 3 of us. And we went all the way up to 25. If I had an ego, I'd say it was entirely due to my involvement, but it was not. Only in part because so many people make this and have made this a great conference that it is. And I've been asked on several occasions, what is the secret to the success of SALC? And I can sum this up in one word: family. All of us on the committee care about the success of the conference. We are in fact a family of sorts. Our family is like any other family. We have our fair share of characters, but we have one thing in common. We care about each other, and we care about the conference with a passion. We have members that have been on the committee for over 20 years, as well as members new to the industry. I personally have friends on the committee that I look to as mentors, and as well as dear friends. A few of them actually attend my wedding. Members of the committee make this conference possible and are dedicated to each other and the conference. I had an incident over the past 2 years where we had speakers who could not make the conference. When I asked for volunteers to help fill those roles, there was no hesitation. Others, like Dennis Coker and Carrie Spire, may not have led the full committee, but they always worked hard to just make sure things got done. They were always eager to help, and when I was there to tell both of them that they were up for the Lifetime Service Award, before I could tell them, they both asked what they needed us to do for them, or what we needed for them to do for us. Sorry, this is hard for me. But without hesitation. And last but not least, Rich Mansour was the last original founding member of the committee who helped guide us until his retirement from the committee just this last spring after 38 years of service. Gentlemen like these have always inspired me. I guess the point I want to try to make is that the atmosphere and friendship with this group is incredible. It makes it very easy to participate and grow. For me, I just helped where I could and allowed myself to grow and take on new challenges when they present themselves. I have and continue to do this for others as they work themselves up through the committee. Now, I'm not usually one to drop names, but as you've heard, I did a few here, and it was intentional. Many of these people that you know, that you heard, you may notice from this previous slide. And I would not be accepting this award today without their support and dedication to both me and the conference. I'd like to thank the IES for introducing me to this wonderful conference. There are literally so many people. I'd be up here for a half hour listing the names of all the folks that I would love to thank, but there's a few that I'd like to mention specifically. Rich Mansour, Zach Gibler, Val Landers, Gary Bradford, John Bono, Chris Balliott, Edward Smalley, Becky Rayner, Don Midbow, David Baum, Dennis Coker, Carrie Spire, Debbie Bell, R.J. Darling, Steve Braun, and of course, my loving wife, Maggie. These people are colleagues, mentors, and yes, family. Thank you again for honoring me with this award.